staring at each other, or are you going to invite me in?
Oh yes, forgive me. Do come in.
Sorry, I didn't introduce myself. Blake. Sophia Blake. Mr. Macpherson, I have an offer to make. Interesting for you, vital for me.
You mentioned an interesting offer. What exactly was it?
Mr. Macpherson, you've been in Paris for some time and I need your help. Only you can investigate this case. I'm ready to pay anything.
Could you give me any more details about the case? At the moment, it all seems rather nebulous.
You probably haven't heard about the Orphée case, Mr. Macpherson. The newspapers have kept it quiet. A couple of American tourists were brutally murdered. They were my sister and her husband. I want to know the circumstances surrounding their death.
These murders were committed in Paris. Do you know whereabouts in Paris?
A hotel in a chic part of Paris in the 8th district, the Hotel Orphée. They arrived there about a week ago. They were found dead in their hotel bedroom.
Are the police handling the case? If they are, it may well complicate things. Do you know the name of the inspector in charge of the investigation?
The detective in charge of the investigation is named Lebrun. You know, the police are the same in every country, Mr. Macpherson. Whether you're in New York or in Paris, you mustn't be in a hurry. Lebrun is no exception.
Your sister and her husband, they were both American. What exactly were they doing in Paris?
I was supposed to meet them in Paris. You know, Mr. Macpherson, visiting Europe was my sister Ruby's childhood dream. With Mr. White, her wish came true. They were so very much in love.
How did they die? Are you sure they were murdered? It may just have been a terrible accident.
The Whites were found decapitated in their hotel room, Mr. Macpherson.
To be honest, I'm not sure I should take the case. Firstly, because where there's a murder, there's a murderer. Inspector Lebrun is in a better position to arrest murderers than I am.
Mr. Macpherson, I have no faith in the police. The 8th District Police Station, Lebrun especially, is trying to hush up the affair. All they care about is keeping their reputation as a chic area.
I don't get it. I've never worked for you before, not here nor in New York, yet you come to me and ask me to find your sister's murderer. Why me, Miss Blake?
Your reputation, Mr. Macpherson. I find your nickname spooky to be charming. I have friends who know people at the Pinkerton Agency in New York. The suspicion surrounding you is totally unfounded, naturally. You are the man I need for this investigation. Discreet, capable of seeing beyond appearances.
I don't want to seem overly interested, but why don't we settle my fees before we go any further?
This case may take you several days. I'll give you 500 straight away and 500 per day of successful investigation.
Your offer is very reasonable. I accept.
I owe you a lot, Mr. McPherson. Much more than the money I'm paying you.
You'd like me to begin right away. I think I have all the information I need to begin. You're sure you haven't forgotten anything?
The police didn't find any items of value in the room. Yet my sister and her husband traveled very comfortably, in luxury and with old family heirlooms. It was a passion they both shared.
I hope to have results quickly. I'll be in touch with you when I've made some progress in my investigation. Goodbye, Miss Blake.
I ask only one thing of you. Be discreet. The police must not suspect you were involved. If you'd like to meet me...
Are you quite sure, Mr. Beauvais, that you have not seen him?
Yes, I'm sure. Go on, Mrs. Elwa, go home. We will take care of this, I promise.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Beauvais. You're so kind. The next time I'm at Cézanne, I'll bring you back a nice bottle of red wine. That's a promise. Goodbye, then.
Goodbye. Ah, a little bottle of red. Come on, next. Can I help you?
My name is Gas Macfерсон. I'm a private eye, private detective. I wanted to ask you if you'd be willing to answer a few questions and help me in my investigation on the Orphée murders.
A private dick. I see. Well, you'd better show me your license.
A license? Of course I have a license. It's back home right now. I can go and pick it up if you want to see it that much, but we'll waste a whole lot of time.
Where did you get this license? In Paris. Private eyes do not need papers. Everyone knows that.
I thought you wanted to see my private investigator's license from New York. Sorry. It's good to know I don't need a license to work in Paris.
Just checking. Always want to know who I'm dealing with. So, you're an American PI in Paris. And your client? American or Parisian?
For the moment, I can only tell you two things. She's the sister of one of the victims from the Orphée, and she trusts my services more than she does yours.
The sister? Strange. We did not know the victims had family. I cannot tell you anything about the Orphée case.
Just a helping hand so I can launch my investigation in the right direction. That way we will not get our lines crossed. I don't want to impede your work in any way.
Forget it. It is baking in here, isn't it? You would not happen to have anything to drink, would you? Just one for the road. And my little gift. You do not have it? Fine then. Get lost.
Gee, these suitcases are heavy.
And do not forget, young man, the elevator is still out of order.
Oh, brother.
I'm sure the front desk clerk will not like to see me going upstairs alone. Must find a ruse or persuade him to come up with me.
What can I get you, sir?
My name is Macpherson. I'm a private detective.
You really are a private eye, just like in the movies. You've even got the hat, and you're American too. Oh, Private Dick.
Do the police have a suspect?
I told them what I knew. I definitely saw someone by the window all evening. That is my testimony. They can do what they like with it.
Be a good guy. Tell me in detail what you saw that night.
I don't know any more than that. I know that Petit, the Hotel Orphée receptionist, was chewing the fat with Inspector Lebrun. He seemed to know quite a lot about the White case.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sir?
Give me a bottle of red.
full of promises and empty-handed, huh?
I do happen to have a little something for you. An amazing bottle of red wine. You cannot say no to that, officer. Don't you feel a little thirsty? Dr. Kaufner's office, please.
It's over there, right at the end of the hall. Make sure you don't get lost.
Come in.
Dr. Frank Kaufner?
What can I do for you, sir?
I'm Gustav Macpherson. I've come here to ask you a few questions about the White case.
Tell me what you want to hear. So, you are investigating the incident at the Hotel V's.
Yes, Doctor. Your professional opinion on the murders.
Did Inspector Lebrun send you, Mr. Macpherson?
I'm a private eye.
A private detective? Then someone is showing an interest in the White's murder.
A person who wishes to remain anonymous is paying me to investigate.
We all have a reputation to protect.
Appearances can sometimes be deceptive, Dr. Kaufner. That's why I would like to clarify this situation by gathering as much information as possible.
I am at your disposal, Mr. Macpherson. How can I help you?
What can you tell me about the scene of the crime? The police have released very few details.
The man who committed this murder, and I stress the fact that he is a man, is probably quite overwhelmed at the present time. This crime was committed under the influence of a sudden impulse, without premeditation. His act is now haunting him. He is not himself.
And you think the motive for the murder was theft?
That is what the police say. But does the official version reflect Inspector Lebrun's true opinion? This murder could be the first in a long series of crimes.
Might the murderer regret his actions and turn himself in?
Beyond the conscious, Mr. Macpherson, lies the unconscious. We all too often ignore the monsters that lurk there.
You are implying that the murderer is a victim too, Dr. Kaufman.
We are all victims of the secrets of our soul, Mr. Macpherson. This criminal is no exception. We are all victims of our past. And do you have a suspect, Mr. Macpherson?
I'm on the same trail as the police, only I am surer of my hunch.
It has been a most pleasant conversation, but unfortunately, I cannot afford you more time, Mr. Macpherson. I hope I have satisfied your curiosity.
Good evening, sir. Welcome to the Hotel Orphée. My name is Isidore Petit. What can I do for you?
Gas Macferson. I'm a detective, a private investigator. I'm working on an investigation, a private investigation. The death of the Whites.
Sorry, sir. I'm afraid I cannot help you.
I thought you were the manager of this establishment. I'm sorry if I made a mistake.
You are speaking to him. I am the manager. But I have no wish to answer your questions, sir.
So you will not discuss it? Do you have any reason to feel guilty?
Sir, we have nothing to be ashamed of. What happened in that room last night is not about to happen again.
You seem rather defensive. Maybe there was some kind of security failure? Am I right?
That is enough. You wanted a demonstration of the effectiveness of our security. Well, I am personally responsible for security, and my first act will be to throw you out. Leave, sir. You again. Sir, I have nothing more to say to you.
Come in. I am very busy, sir. You should speak to Inspector Lebrun for more detailed information.
Great! The private eye returns.
Am I right in thinking Inspector Lebrun is in charge of the investigation on the White case? Would it be possible to meet with him? That way we can compare our information.
He is not seeing anybody, just make a statement.
I've got some information on the Orphée murders. Exceptional information.
Fresh info? You are better informed than us, are you?
I think I have the number one suspect. Théo Mallet. I believe he did it.
Mallet? You're mistaken, Macpherson. Mallet is not a murderer. He had no reason to kill the two Americans for their money. An old aunt just left him a fortune.
When I read the file, I noticed the name of a certain doctor, Frank Kaufner. What can you tell me about him?
Dr. Kaufner is our expert. Forensic scientist and above all, psychiatrist. The sort of guy who prefers the company of madmen and corpses to the likes of you and me.
You don't seem to be overly fond of Dr. Kaufner. Is there any particular reason for that?
The chief of police himself imposed Dr. Kaufner on us. It's not going to help matters any.
What if Inspector Lebrun had neglected certain details during his investigation? Information that Mallet did not reveal to him, for instance.
Do you have new testimony from Mallet? We need it, that lowlife.
I've read the police report, but I'm sure you can tell me a little more. What are your impressions on the White case?
This case is pretty messy. A foul murder, unclear motive. If Inspector Lebrun needs a hand, he will ask me. For the time being, he is managing on his own like a big boy. That is all I know.
Of course, if Inspector Lebrun is surrounded by guardian angels like you, he can't be making much headway with his investigations.
If he's not making headway in his investigation, it's his own fault. Lebrun is bending over backwards trying to find the mysterious visitor the Whites had that evening, just before the murder. He's not even cross-checking the statements.
Goodbye.
Yeah, right. Goodbye.
You again! Sir, I have nothing more to say to you.
And me who found the studio tiny. Hoping that his break did not...
Here we go again.
And make sure you do not drop it, young man.
Don't worry about it, Mr. Petit.
Oh.
This is really heavy. Talk about starting a new job on the wrong foot.
Ow. Ow.
Just one more step.
Ooh.
And there we go. Whew.
It's a good thing I didn't have the Atlantic to cross. That's not the room I'm interested in. Anyway, the door is locked. Of course the door is locked. And the front desk clerk is hardly likely to open it for me. I must find a way to get in. Of course the door is locked. And the front desk clerk is hardly likely to open it for me. I must find a way to get in. Mrs. Loiseau?
Ah, It's the detective. Welcome to my home, Inquisitor.
Who told you I was a detective, madame?
I am a seer. I simply see things others do not.
A clairvoyant? Really? What luck. So am I.
I can feel the suffering radiating from you.
Have you been the victim of visions, madam? Rather like me? Visions of murder? The White's murder.
Young man, your instinct spoke to you. You are an artist, are you not?
I'm also an artist. Perhaps you'd like to buy one of my paintings.
Take this. They say Napoleon brought it back from his Egyptian campaign. It represents thought, the Egyptian god of arcane knowledge, the ibis of the Nile. It will help you on your quest. I shall be there to help you find the right path.
I will remember what you said. Who knows? One day I may even need your clairvoyance.
Should you have need of guidance, do not hesitate. Come back and see me.
Of course the door is locked, and the front desk clerk is hardly likely to open it for me. I must find a way to get in. That's not the room I'm interested in. Anyway, the door is locked.
Ah, it is you again.
How is Mrs. Loiseau involved in this case? I really don't understand. Is she a witness? Is she a suspect? Can she be trusted?
Madame Loiseau may be a little eccentric, but she is our best client. She has been living in the Hotel Orphée for many years now.
Mrs. Loiseau would not be a bit, how shall I put it, nutty? Not many people would dare claim that they can sense evil. In any case, I certainly would not.
Nonsense and superstition. Any evil presence here is definitely human. People can be gruesome. Good. Well, if it's all right with you, I have a lot of work to do. Goodbye, sir.
Great! The private eye returns.
Goodbye.
Yeah, right. Goodbye.
Come in. I am very busy, sir. You should speak to Inspector Lebrun for more detailed information.
You are the detective, are you not?
Did you come into contact with the Whites? While they were alive, of course. If you saw them after that, it's your business.
I was only their next-door neighbor.
Despite the fact you have a reputation of being rather eccentric, did you still get on well with the Whites?
I have never had any ties whatsoever with the Whites, young man. They were appalling people. And what is more, they were cursed by evil.
This evil, could you describe it, or is it too abstract to be nailed down?
Ancient, dark, hypnotic eyes, authoritarian. I can see a color, like a ruby, like blood.
And this force of evil is what caused their death.
Your eyes have met his. He knows you exist. His anger has not been lessened by the White's death.
Please, be more specific in your ramblings. Describe this evil to me. Tell me what it is like.
Be on your guard. Evil is temptation. It is man's primal sin.
Mrs. Loiseau, I cannot arrest a culprit based on your ravings about evil. Please be more specific.
My words cannot be understood, Mr. Macpherson. They can only be felt. Come back later. I need to rest.
You again! Sir, I have nothing more to say to you.
Come in. I am very busy, sir. You should speak to Inspector Lebrun for more detailed information.
Great! The private eye returns.
Goodbye.
Yeah, right. Goodbye. Not so fast, buddy. If you're after the inspector, you have to see me first. Great! The private eye returns.
Goodbye.
Yeah, right. Goodbye.